Hello and welcome to episode number 253 of the Launch Lounge podcast. In today's episode, you're going to discover how to transition from being a service provider to a course creator without burning out or losing your existing income. Stay tuned because I'm going to share some real talk about my own journey, including the mistakes I made, so you don't have to make them too. Hello and welcome. I'm delighted to be hanging out here in your ears today. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. It is not lost on me that you could be doing about 1,000 other things. So thank you very much for being here with you. I value and appreciate it. I just spoke to somebody who has filled out an application to work with us in the agency, and I loved hearing that she's been listening to the podcast for years. And she told me she was very sad when I went on my little podcast sabbatical, and she's very glad that I'm back. And I just want to say to everyone who's listening, I love being back. I love being here with you, and I am grateful and appreciative and happy to be sharing my journey, my ups and my downs, hard lessons learned, successes, failures, all the things. I love sharing it for you. And to be honest, I've been thinking about this episode for a while because honestly, the transition from service provider to course creator, it's challenging. It can be challenging, especially if you're working in an agency or if you're working in a done-for-you service. A lot of ads managers out there, maybe some agency owners, social media managers, VAs. If you're still doing the do for other people, and then you're having to do the do for yourself as well, and you're also building a course, and you're also putting together a launch, it can be a lot. And let me tell you, I made every mistake in the book. Not once, maybe I made every mistake twice. Because, your girl can be a bit stubborn sometimes in getting the lessons. But I remember when I was only running the ad agency, that was my only job. I was already working 40 hours a week, right? And I had this bright idea that I will create a course on the side because how hard can it be? Ha ha. It was a lot of work. Listen, I was the person doing the ads, managing the team, trying to expand into courses and coaching and creating content. And I thought I could just stack all these roles on top of each other, like some kind of entrepreneurial Jenga tower. You just add something else. You just add one more thing. You just add one more thing. And given my own time blindness and my own prioritization blindness, which I'm very open about, my beautiful ADHD brain that allows me to see big pictures and patterns and, large systems and processes. But gosh darn it, I have to have an alarm to remember to pick up my kids at school every day. Every day. Shout out to all the mums who have alarms on their phones reminding them it's time to go pick up the kids, because otherwise they forget about their kids because they're probably down some hyper focus. All right. I thought I could just stash another thing on top of another thing on top of another thing, and the Jenga tower came crashing down. It came crashing down pretty spectacularly. So why do service providers transitioning into course creation or into coaching need a different approach? Here's the thing. As a service provider, we're used to being really good at one specific thing. It's the thing you're selling. It's the thing you're so good at that other people are paying you for it, right? For me, it was Facebook ads. For you, it might be web design, copywriting, creating websites for other people, coaching, flower decorating, hairdressing. It could be so many things. And because we are good at that one thing that is our thing that we can just, sell to other people because we've become known for being so good at it, we think we can just package it up into a course and boom, freedom. Right? Time freedom, independence. But here's what nobody tells you. course creation is a completely different business model. Sure, selling your services and selling courses is kind of adjacent because we're still selling our own knowledge, but the funnels are slightly different. The business model is slightly different. And I'm not just talking about, what content you put into your videos. It's about becoming suddenly a teacher. Now, if you're already good at doing it for other people, I'm going to guess you're probably going to be a good teacher as well, because you'll know how to give away the content. Unfortunately, the better you are at teaching, sometimes the harder it is to learn how to do marketing, because teaching is a one style of speaking, one style of delivering content, one style of writing copy. Marketing, on the other hand, is a completely different style of speaking. It's a different style of writing. It's a different style of communication. It's often not a very natural style because we are aiming to influence other people, right? It's not how we speak in normal life. If I spoke in normal life the way I speak on a webinar, I don't know if I'd have any friends. No, I would have a lot of friends, but I'd probably be exhausted by 11 a.m. And then you have to become a content creator as well. So now there's social media speaking, which is, again, another style of speaking. Because you got to create a hook and pull people in the first 3 seconds. And who walks around speaking in hooks? Not me. I don't know about you. Maybe sometimes to my kids when I really, really, really am fed up with my instructions just falling on deaf ears. But my big aha moment came when I realized that I was trying to wear all these different hats without even acknowledging that I had created for myself a lot of different jobs. If you are a consultant, if you are someone working in your own business, delivering a product for someone, and then you transition to a different business model like courses or coaching, you have to see them as different jobs, right? You're the CEO in your agency or in your service-based business. You're not yet the CEO in your courses business. You're the course creator. You're the content creator. You're the copywriter. You're the marketing manager. You're the scheduler. You're the email marketer. You're wearing lots of different hats and you've created for yourself lots of different jobs. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down every role you're currently playing. So if you're a service provider, it's your main gig. For me, in the agency, I have maybe, let's say in the agency, I probably have 3 different roles. The one role is to be a leader to my team. The next role is to be a coach to my clients and to help my clients, be a marketer to my clients, and then to be a CEO, like to look at the bank account and to look at the revenue and to look at, those boring profit and loss stuff, right? To answer the email from the accountant, to make sure I'm not spending more than I'm earning. All those CEO stuff, that is a job. And if you don't take that seriously as your job, you're going to run into trouble. And that's another one a lesson I learned firsthand, right? So that's your one job. The other job is, it might be, as a course creator, your job might be to develop content. Now then you're wearing your teacher hat. You might be still building your course. You might be breaking out what's going in your lead magnet. Your next job is teacher. Like literally, you need to figure out how to teach this stuff in a way that it can be comprehended by people who do not comprehend it yet, right? So you got to come up with some metaphors and examples and show people how your theory applies to real life. Maybe you're wearing the marketing hat, and marketing hat can have so many different sub hats. There's the email marketer, there's the social media manager, there's the web developer or web builder, there's the copywriter, there's the story-based copies for emails, and then there's the conversion-based copies for ads. So many different copywriters. Or you could be the content creator. Who creates the blogs? Who comes up with the podcast ideas, the podcast content? Who hits record? Who edits it? Who puts it together? Or social media. You might be the person coming up with the social media content. Each of these is a separate job description. And trying to do them all at once is a recipe for burnout. It's also when you don't have each of these job descriptions laid out clearly, even when you're doing it, it becomes harder to hand them off to someone else to help you. Because you can hand something off that you have clearly defined, that you have set standards of delivery to. But the only way you're going to know what your standards are is if you have them written down. I remember one of my students kept asking this one question. This is years ago. She kept coming back to me saying, I'm just never happy with the people I hire. They just don't deliver at my standard. And I just don't, I don't expect people to deliver at my standard when I hire them. And I was like, well, that's your problem. You're hiring people expecting them to fail, and you've never put down the standard of what done looks like by your standard on a piece of paper. When a job is done, there is a standard that can be measured that says this is how it is done, right? It can be measured, but you have to create your own job description for that role first. And then you have to say, what are the tasks that need to be done in order to fulfill the role? And when those tasks are done, what does that look like? All right, so start by writing down each of your own job descriptions and mapping out what done looks like when you're doing it. If you've already proven that your course can sell, but scaling beyond 6 figures is becoming a whole nother job, then listen up. Look, after 10 years of running ads for course creators, coaches, and information product owners, I know that throwing more money at ads isn't always the first answer when you're looking to scale. That's why I created the Launch Lounge 30 Days Intensive. In just 30 days, my team and I will analyze your business, dive deep into your data, create your custom strategy, and give you a clear scaling roadmap without the ongoing agency fees. You'll get 2 90-minute sessions with me, a comprehensive business audit, and a customized plan guaranteed to increase profits or your money back. Ready for a freedom empire that grows while you enjoy your Friday morning Pilates? Visit thelaunchlounge.com/intensive to apply today. Now, here's a little framework that I came up with that I want to give you that finally worked for me, and you're welcome to steal it. The first thing you're going to do when you are pivoting into a new area. So either, maybe you're pivoting from service provider to course creator, or from course creator to coach, or from coach to service provider. The first thing you're going to do is everything is going to be new, right? You're going to iterate. Every single thing you're going to be trying is going to be spaghetti on the wall. Everything is new. You're in iteration phase. You start with some social media posts. You throw them on the wall. You measure the results. You learn. You make some changes. You figure out, okay, is it a reel that's working better, or is it a carousel post? Or is it stories? Or is it threads? Or is it a podcast? Or is it a blog? Everything begins by being spaghetti on the wall, right? And the more spaghetti you can just throw and then measure the effect of it, the better you'll know what worked, right? Maybe it's creating your course content while you still keep your service business running. So you don't have a sharp deadline for when your course has to be built, because you're building it in between servicing your clients so that your revenue doesn't come to a screeching halt because you've decided to take 3 months off to build a course and you have no income. The second phase of this is optimization. Optimization is when you look at that spaghetti that you threw on the wall and you decide, yeah, these are going to stick and these have to go in the bin, right? So you get that piece of your marketing moving smoothly. You get at least one social media platform up and running. You get at least one large format content delivery running, like a podcast or a blog, and you have a system in place that you can start teaching to someone else, and you're measuring the results. Every single Friday, I write down on a spreadsheet my social media views, my website visitors, my podcast downloads, my email list growth. Every single Friday, I do that. Because you know what? It keeps me accountable and it keeps me engaged. And it reminds me what I have to do to grow. So the second step is optimize. So you get things working and you identify what's working so that you can do more of that, hand some of it off, start doing some new things that will eventually multiply your time and multiply your access to other people or your audience without needing to work harder. And the third phase of this is scaling, right? So scaling is when you know exactly what's working well. You know exactly who your audience is, what you need to say to them, when you need to say it in order for them to say, heck yes, take my money, please. And, scaling can be something as simple as, okay, I have now figured out a system for how to promote my podcast once a week. Now I'm going to replicate my system and turn this into a 3 times a week or a 4 times a week promotion. Something simple. Scaling doesn't necessarily mean you're going from 6 figures to 7 figures. Every little thing we do is also scaling. Going from sending 1 email every 2 weeks to sending 2 emails a week, that's scaling. And somewhere in there, you're probably going to send better and better and better emails because you're optimizing before you're scaling, right? So you're iterating, sending and seeing what happens, optimizing, using what you see happened that works to learn and to make smarter decisions, and then scaling. And scaling is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better. And when you're scaling as well, you're not just inventing new rabbit holes. Every little thing is still aligned with getting you to either building your audience or making more offers. One of those two things. The key is to never add a new piece in until the previous one is running smoothly. So please put the myth out of your head that an online course can save a service-based business that's not working. Put the myth out of your head that a coaching business will save your courses that's not working. Or put it out of your head that a service-based business will save a courses business that's not working. None of these things can save the other one if it's not working. If it's not working, make it work. If it's not working, you're still in spaghetti on the wall phase. Moving to throwing different kinds of spaghetti on the wall is not the solution. Fix what's not working. Create revenue, create profit before you move to something else. Now, to help you with this, for all of my service-based, I want to say ladies, but maybe dudes as well, if you're there. But I think I have a lot of female listeners, so I'm guessing most of the service-based people listening would be social media managers, Facebook ads managers, maybe VAs. I came up with a little bit of an action plan that I want to share with you. So over the next 90 days, here's what you can do. You might want to grab a pen and a piece of paper, or if you want to come back to the episode when you're not driving or in the gym, do that. In month number 1, sit down and map out all your roles. Give yourself jobs, right? Look at the things that you do and allocate them to a role. And then start asking yourself, which of those roles is something you can outsource down the track and start delegating start documenting what you're doing in that role, right? I recommend you start with, they talk about the low dollar tasks. Things like scheduling social media posts, things like scheduling emails, things like answering queries from customers, fairly regular things, anything that occurs on a regular basis and that you can create an SOP for and someone else can do it. That's the first things you outsource. Month number 2, start creating your course outline. You don't have to build your whole course before you can launch it. Really, you don't. Just outline the course and give it a basic, I want to say 6 or 8 modules. And then start talking about the fact that you're working on a course and test the curiosity with your audience. Talk about benefits, outcomes people will get, your ideal customer will get when they go through the course, and then invite a few people to go through a beta round. You literally only need to send a few emails to your email list to invite people to the beta round. And please charge for the beta round. Your knowledge still has value, even if it's the first time you're delivering it. And while you're delivering the beta round to maybe a handful of people from your email list and you're getting paid, you still have enough bandwidth to be able to continue servicing your customers. Month number 3, you're going to get feedback from your students. You're going to let them fill out surveys. And some of the questions in those surveys should at least be, what did you expect to learn in this course? What would that mean for your life if you did learn that? Did you learn that? What is different for you now that you have learned that, right? Because what we want to get to is the ultimate benefits of what people learned, not necessarily what they learned. If someone answers my survey and they say, I learned Facebook ads, that does not help me at all. If they tell me, I learned how to double my email list and make offers to my email list so that I can start making revenue from my list, that makes my heart sing. And if they even add so that I can build my freedom empire, then I've done my job well. So now that you have some feedback from your beta students, your beta launchers, then you can start building your marketing system. And your marketing system sits sweetly on top of your very clear understanding of the pain points that your students have before taking your course and the desired end results they have once they have taken your course. Because everything you're going to do in your marketing from here on forward then is about either talking about overcoming pain points, relieving pain points, or getting to desired end results, and then linking your course with how they're going to do that. And then you're going to launch. Now, it's easy for me to say then you're going to launch because there's a lot that goes into a launch, right? But then you can start working on your launch so that you can launch. And every time you launch, if it's a live launch, it's a huge cash injection, right? So there's 1 month that you launch that suddenly you make double the revenue. Don't go and spend that money on a new laptop or on a new, iPad mini. I say that because I've done that. Or on 3 AirPods because you need one in every room where you regularly work. That's also something I've done. Don't go and do that. Save your money, because once you have looked at your results for your launch, you're going to want to come back and use a little bit more money this time to add some ads in there so that your launch can get bigger and you can make more revenue, and you'll have a bigger launch next time and a bigger one next time and a bigger one next time. Listen, I know pivoting and transitioning can feel overwhelming. I've been there. Not once, not twice. I've been there many times. But remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Start with one piece. Usually, I recommend that piece is audience building. Get that working. Get the audience building working and then start making some offers and then add the next piece. This is how you build your freedom empire, one intentional step at a time. Not by trying to do everything at once, not by trying something new because you haven't solved the problem from the something old, right? We don't have to throw new spaghetti on the wall when our old spaghetti is still there. Be strategic about what you take on and when you take it on, and be patient. Be patient. There's no rush. There's no deadline. In Thursday's episode, we're going to talk about how to quit your 9-to-5 without going broke. Join me this Thursday if quitting your job is on your goals list for 2025. I'll tell you exactly how I did it, what mistakes I made, and how I would do it again if I did it today. Until then, go and build your freedom empire, one piece of spaghetti at a time. Bye. Before you go, if today's episode helped you, imagine how many more lives could be transformed if other creators, coaches, and experts found these strategies too. Your shares and reviews help more course creators discover how to get their knowledge out into the world. Please take a moment to rate the show and leave a quick review. When you do, we get to reach more people and we make a bigger impact together. Because when more people who help people succeed, the world becomes a better place. Thank you.